Hey guys, Terence here. Today I want to talk to you guys about my decision to change out our electric tankless water heater. The model we're currently using is an off-brand model made in China. The system required 350 amp breakers and I installed 340 amp breakers because I had them. I didn't have to buy anything. I just tried to save a little money, figuring it'll give me enough current to supply the system or the unit. Well, it worked okay for a little bit. We got short bursts of water, hot water. It'll run hot for maybe a minute or two, and it'll start to get warm. The temperature will decline on it. It will drop drastically, and I'll turn it up. When we turn the water back on, we'll get short bursts of hot water. It won't be constant. So I installed the 350 amp breakers with hopes of getting constant flowing hot water. It said it will flow 7 gallons per minute. In this house, we only have one bathroom, one shower, one tub, dishwasher, sink. So I installed the 350 amp breakers and turned the power back on, and the water still continued to give us short bursts of hot water. It wasn't hot constant. It was a minute of hot water, the rest warm. Have to turn the unit off or turn the water off, wait for a second, turn it back on. I was getting the right current to the system, and it still wasn't working correctly. So when I installed the 340 amp breakers, I used 10 gauge wire. The system recommended 8 gauge wire. I installed 8 gauge wire, 350 amp fuses, and it still continued to give us short bursts of hot water, nothing constant. So I got upset and I decided to change out the whole unit and put us a name brand unit in that would guarantee us at least to get 3 gallons per minute of hot water, constant hot water. And I know temperature has something to do with it, the water coming in from into the house. But it was super hot outside. Like today it's 90 degrees and we still get no short bursts of water, of hot water. I don't know, maybe it's the system. Maybe I should have added those 50 amp breakers. I couldn't see nothing messing up. The system is brand new. It looks brand new. I don't smell anything burnt out. I probed it with my multimeter, and everything's functioning well. And it just isn't cutting it, man. It's not getting it for us, man. It's not gonna work. I'm changing out. So FedEx just dropped off this. So FedEx just dropped this package off to us, and I'm about to install it. I've already started taking out the other unit. But I do want to say this. It's important that we get an electrician to do a job like this. I know you may see videos online recommending that if you, or giving disclaimers, telling you if you decide to tackle this job, just to be cautious. I have my certificate for electricity. This is extremely dangerous. If you're inexperienced and calling yourself trying to work with this amount of amperage or voltage, and you make a mistake, it can turn out to be fatal. This is not anything to play with. I would recommend letting somebody come out with who knows what they're doing to tackle a job like this, or installing a water heater or something with this volts. Maybe if it was a exterior light outside, I may say, hey, go for it, because you're typically messing with 14 to 12 gauge wires, which can't be fatal, but they'll give you a little sting. But I wouldn't recommend messing with this amount of amperage or voltage, because the current provided by this amount of voltage can be fatal. So I just thought I'd mention that, and I'm about to get started. I'll show you guys the installation. I gotta cut these. Off, and I'm gonna remove this from off the wall and start installing the new system. So I'll show you guys each step along the way. But I can't stress enough, on how important it is to get somebody who knows what they're doing with electricity, because it can be very, very dangerous or fatal. So I'll be back in a second. Okay guys, you can see I got to remove the plastic that you see on this thing. Is still like brand new. You rarely use it. Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. This is the name of it. Some more information on it. But yeah, it's not producing like it said it would. So we're changing it out to that board. This is the bracket that came with the brace that it holds on, slides down on here and on here. So let me remove this. It's actually on the stud. Like, as you can see, I got a mark. It's on the stud. So let me remove it and start installing the new unit. Okay guys, I just opened it. I thought I'd give you guys a look at how it comes in the box. It's a really nice unit. It looks really good. Let me gauge it compared to the other. Let me get the other one and set it next to it. Okay, this is the old unit. Got it squared onto the other unit. It's about 4 inches taller, and it's substantially bigger than our old unit. So I'm excited to get this installed, and I'll show you guys the process as I go. Okay, here's the bottom of the unit. 2 Phillips screws, so you can remove the top, so you can install it. The water inlet and outlet are about, okay, it's about 7 inches from tip to tip, from middle to middle, approximately 6 inches compared to the old one. Let's see. Four inches from tip to, well, about 4 inches. 4 inches, about 4 inches from tip, about 4.5 inches from tip to tip. From center to center, 3.5 inches. Okay, I want to show you guys, there's also 2 Phillips screws at the top, so the panel can come completely off. 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top. I removed the bottoms, I'm about to remove the top. Okay guys, I got the front lid off. The knob actually pulls off from here, and you can leave it inside the box so it won't get damaged. And if I'm looking right, I haven't looked at any instructions yet. I pretty much can hook this thing up with my eyes closed, but the mount is important. So there's a mounting hole here, one there, here, and down here. I'm quite sure it's supplied with screws. I don't know. Let me see. No screws are supplied. It's okay. I got anchor bolts. I'll be using these, because I'm quite sure this looks to be 16 inches apart, these holes for stud, so you can mount on the stud, because you know the typical studs in the wall are 16 inches apart. Let's see if I'm correct. $16 inches. Wow. So it's mounted for joist placement, because this does have some weight. It's heavier than the other one. But if my studs don't match up to where I need to place this heater, I'm gonna have to use those anchor bolts, which will be just, they'll do just fine. So let me get my stud finder and see what I can come up with. Okay, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to mount this to the studs because this is a gas pipe. This was here for, I'll close it off, for a gas water heater, just in case we want to. Well, this house had a gas water heater before we got it, but we went to electric. We want to put a tankless water heater in the electric one, so I sealed that off. But this line is in the way, this gas line is in the way, and as you know, the stud, I marked it right here. This is the stud. This is on the stud. I don't have much space. I only can go over this way. The next stud will be here where the drywall meets it. So I'm gonna have to use those anchor screws to place it within this vicinity. Okay, got 3 anchors in. About to drill the 4th one. Kind of give it a slight press. That's it. All flankers are in place. I got my line, I got it even. I use my laser leveler. Let me show you guys right now how I did that. Came over here and got on top of the thing and got me a perfect line for the top of the unit, so it'll sit flush and even on this wall. Okay guys, I mounted. I used some washers because the screws that came with the anchors, they would have worked, but they're kind of fairly small. I don't want nothing to slip down, but this thing is on here super tight. It's not going anywhere. Lined up. Actually, I went with this to bring this over, so it'll fit perfect up there. And this is gonna go perfect up here. So I'll file these down even and mount my water lines. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm about to install my fittings, my inlets. Make sure if you're using something similar to this, make sure the rubber grommets are in there, the rubber washers are in there, and I'm actually using this Blue Monster pipe thread sealing opposed to some Teflon tape. When I open it, I had to stir it. It was kind of white and clumpy. I just bought it. It's brand new. So I mixed it up. I used the top to stir it around, and I'll apply it to the threads and I'll screw it on. So okay guys, this is where I'm at right now. Got my water lines ran. I used the Blue Monster pipe thread, and now I'm about to run my electricity. Okay, I'm back guys. I want to show you guys a quick way to pull wires through some EMT or through some conduit or cable. I just run through already, or pushed it through. Got a short run, but this should apply to any wire pulling method. I'm using some clear guide wire loop. I'm gonna push this through fairly easy with one hand. I'm gonna show you guys. I don't have to use my fishing tape. What I want to do is Squeeze this good. Put a lot in here. I already did this. I'm just showing you guys for this video. Squeeze as much as you want down here, so those wires can come through fairly easy. And another important thing, these are considered this. These are pull locations. You can pull the wires through at each one of these locations when you connect them and conduit together. And another important thing to know is when you're cutting this EMT or cutting this conduit. Okay, when you're cutting metal conduit, it's important that you ream the insides, because if you don't, it creates sharp edges. So when you pull the wires through, it'll pull the sheeting off the wires, and now you got a live wire inside this metal, which will constantly trip the breakers, and you'll wonder what's going on. So make sure you ream each one of these metal pieces you cut to get the sharp edges, to remove the sharp edges, and use the wire lube. It's important. Use this wire lube. It makes the job so much simpler. I'm using the Ideal Clear Guide, so I want to show you guys. I'll pull a wire. Well, I'll actually push it through. I'll have to use my fishing tape to show you guys how easy it is. Okay, this is what I'll be using. This is what I just bought. I have a ton of wire, but I don't have any 8 gauge. I don't have any 8 gauge wire in my bags, but I have lots of 10 gauge, 12 gauge, which is like the most commonly used wire, 14 gauge, and I even have a lot of bale wire. But I'll use this wire, and I'll color code it. Some color for electric tape. Costs like a few bucks, and I'll just color code each breaker so I can match them up when I install it. When I run it through the conduit and run it to the box, I'll match it up. I'll know which element, which breaker work on which heating element. So, you know, all you just need is some 8 gauge wire. You don't have to get red and black or different colors. You can actually use the same color. Red, black is hot, you know, it's purple, yellow, but just buy one solid color, because this wire is expensive, and some color coded tape and electrical tape. And you can you can zone out the elements, the heating elements in the box, and you can know which breaker goes to which one. So just thought I'd mention that and show you guys exactly what I bought. I got one in there already. It makes the job so much easier using this stuff, especially when you pull in this thick gauge wire. Look at that, just a quick, it'll take no time. Okay, I'll do the last one. Done. And all I have to do now is chase it here up to here, and I'm done. Okay, I'll be back in a second to show you guys the wiring process. So stay tuned. Okay guys, since I had a small piece of cut, these are reamed edges right here. You can run your hand across it like this. If this wasn't reamed, I'll be cut. It'll cut me. Another piece I just cut is the ream edges. I'm able to do this without getting cut. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys that. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm done wiring. I know you probably asking yourself why there's in the ground, because this system requires 3 grounds here, and it's also grounded to the body. Since I'm using EMT, I should get a very strong ground from this using 1-inch EMT. If I don't, I'll feed the 3 maybe some 12 gauge. Yeah, I use 12 gauge, 3 12 gauge grounds, but I'm almost positive that I got a adequate enough ground for this system. As you can see, I'm grinding through here. I'm done, so I'll remove this as well. I don't need that. I'm positive I got a great grind, and we'll test for that in a second, but I just want to show you guys I'm done wiring. I just did a pressure test, turned the valve on, and no leaks. The water's flowing through perfectly. I'll put the housing on before I turn the system on, but we'll test for a ground first, and then I'll put the cover on and we'll test this baby out. So I'll be back in a second. Okay guys, I'm about to test for my ground. I'm pretty sure I got an adequate enough ground for this system, but I'm gonna hit the power and we're gonna test and see. It's my first time turning power. We're energized. That's a good sign as well as far as the ground. But the 3 grounded nodes go in each spots, 1, 2, 3. Like I said, it's grounded to the body. I'm using EMT, and I got everything tight. If you decide to wire this way without using the ground, make sure all of these connections are extremely tight. Use a big enough drill bit to make sure these tight, or screwdriver, a wide enough screwdriver to make sure these are tight, so you can get a nice ground. So we're gonna test for ground. Okay, doesn't matter which one. Got a hot here. Okay, to one of the grounds. Wow, I'm 120 volts, no drop off, at all. And I'm on the one side of I'm actually one side of the pole, which is, this is 120 volts, each one 120 volts. This is not 40, 40, and 40. This is 120 and 20, 120, 120, 240 volts total. So I'm using one prong on one side, and I'm getting, this is actually 120 volts pushing out now. So I'll get to see if I got a good ground. No drop off. So the EMT is sufficient for this job, for this system. I don't have to run no ground feeders. And I'm gonna install the cover, and I'll be back and test the system out, so stay tuned. Okay guys, system is installed. Got the cover on. The knob, like I say, the knob pulls off and push on. Got the knob on. Let's turn the power on again. Okay, I'll look at the instructions for the settings, but the most important part is we want to test for power. Let's see where we at. We'll start off at I'm twisting it. We'll start off at 100 degrees and see what we got. Okay, let's see the water we got. Come on, baby. Anything else is on? Mm-hmm. Okay guys, I'm back. Another successful job done, and get everything back together. Just gotta clean up and straighten everything out. But another successful job, and I just want to show you guys this whole water filtration system I installed. If you guys want to see how to install it, it's great for if you're getting well water, or it'll filter out if you're getting water from your city. If you're supplied by water from your city, it's a great filtration system that gives bottled water equivalent water to the whole house. I have another video on how to install it, so just click through my videos and you'll see it, but I just want to share that with you guys. But yeah, another successful job. And if you're installing something similar to this or installing this exact system, I hope this video helped you guys. Just wanted to share with you guys some tips and some pointers. I haven't seen much online on how to kind of guide someone through installing a system like this. So if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. I got so much more to share with you guys. So many cool things to show you guys my ridiculous collection of all the things I own. And be safe.